no, no, yeah, no, no, no.
So vlog number 4, here we go. I had big plans for this one and I have been away this week on a family holiday in the Algarve in Portugal. I had plans to make a vlog of the whole week, but that quickly went by the wayside as it was hot. It was nice, I was having a great time with my family, and my willpower to do any filming quickly went away. It is a little bit of a problem as soon as you stop doing things you get a little bit lazy, but I did manage to get out on one evening and film a few things as I was chasing a sunset. So I cobbled together a little something from the footage that I did film. I hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment down below just to let me know what you think at the end. I'd really appreciate that. Here we go. I've been a little bit unlucky with the weather recently. It's been beautiful blue sky for days on end here, and now it's sort of a bit of a whiteout at the moment. Hopefully it will improve and a few of the clouds will clear as it comes to sunset. I'm going to hang around, try and get a sunset shot as I said earlier. Hopefully that will work out for me. So I thought I'd just take a minute to mention a couple of things about my videos generally, particularly the tutorials. There's been some interesting discussion recently with a couple of the videos, especially the ones around the recent one I did around the graduated filter. When I'm putting these videos together, I want to keep them concise, to the point, to keep people interested and entertained, to help them take their photography to the next level, which is particularly what my channel is all about. Now, I'm a photography geek, I'm a geek generally, I love tech, I love anything to do with gear, art. I could talk all day long about photography, and I could talk all day long on each particular element or tutorial that I've done so far. But the important part of what I feel to get the message across is to make cut that down into bite-sized chunks, because as we know, when we're browsing on YouTube and looking for that information, you want that information snappy and to the point, because you think of something, you want to find that information out, you go onto YouTube and you want it like that. You don't really sitting through an hour and a half lecture, or if you do, you're on your own really. There's not many people out there like you. So most of us want it snappy, we want it quick, which is what I'm trying to do with my tutorials. It then becomes a battle of how I cut that down into the consumable content. I'm always going to miss things. I've got to prioritise what's the most important thing when shooting the video, and that's going to mean that I need to cut bits out. So if I've missed something out, I've probably done it on purpose, apart from one video where a viewer pointed out that I'd put the tripod mount the wrong way on my 400mm review. I'll put a link to that so you can check that out, but I have got the tripod mount on the wrong way for that video. And for me, this lens gets all of that bang on. The reason for that is because I never ever shoot with the tripod mount on, and I just put it on to shoot that review. I use that lens exclusively handheld, so I generally take the tripod mount off, which is why when I stuck it back on for that tutorial, or that review, sorry, I wasn't paying too much attention and I just chucked it on and it went on the wrong way around. So for the other videos, I have to cut bits out to keep the videos nice and short, consumable and entertaining for people, and thankfully most of you have liked it, and I really, really appreciate that. I really love the feedback and the comments, and it keeps me going. And in the end, that's why I've started this channel in the first place, to help people take their photography to the next level. All the content has been free so far, and I intend to keep it that way on the vast majority of the content I create. So I just wanted to offer you the option of supporting me if you've been enjoying the content, so I can continue making this content for free for years to come. And I've decided to do that by putting the t-shirts that I wear in the videos on sale. I announced it in my email to my email subscribers, so quick look. It's a very nice t-shirt designed by a good friend of mine called Andy Whiting. Thanks Andy, cheers, I love the t-shirts. They're coming in several different colours. I'll put a link to the website where you can go ahead and buy a t-shirt now. And I'd really appreciate it if you did that. It's a pretty cool t-shirt. It doesn't have the First Man Photography branding on it anywhere, just the .raw. If you're asking yourself, what does .raw mean? Please don't buy a t-shirt. Subscribe to the channel, watch a few more videos, and hopefully you'll come to understand. And then at that point, when you know what .raw means, go ahead and buy one. Right, that's enough talking. I'm gonna go and try and capture a few shots. And the tide is actually coming in, so I don't think I have too much longer sat here on these rocks before the tide comes in and cuts me off. Quite possible I've not learned my lesson from dropping my camera in the water and having my friend washed into the sea. Wet foot.
With me till I can't see that I'm no one. I'm not really sure of all this pressure. I'm never gonna lose any of my old letters. They'll stay with me till I can't.
The sunset's really starting to close in now and it's looking really quite beautiful. The clouds have really worked out nicely for me. The tide is coming in though. I've got one more shot to get. It's a long exposure, 2 minutes, and by the end of it I could well have wet feet again. Have a look at this. Cracking sunset.
Smoke too much when you talk too much, and when I argue, sit back, it makes me.
I've now got all the shots I came for, and it is a truly beautiful evening. I don't know if you like the beach yourself, but I think at a time like this, you're out by yourself in a fairly remote little spot and you can just think about life, listen to the waves, and it is truly a peaceful experience. I'm now running to not get stuck between the sea and these cliffs and have to spend the night in a little cove like that. Tell you what though, these caves are pretty cool. As we walk in. Yes, awesome. I'm Adam, welcome to First Man Photography. Sorry, just had to do that. Right, I better get running again. Whew. These are pretty cool.
My old letters, they'll stay with me till I can't see that I'm no one. So don't fight it or you'll be fine. Don't stop fighting.
So I'm back in the cove where my car is parked, and as you can see, this is the cliff and this is the water. There's about 10 metres to spare. The water will come right up to that cliff though, so I'm happy with how safe I've been. I've still probably had another 10-15 minutes before I got cut off, but don't take any risks with your photography generally. You want to be careful, especially when working on the beach with an incoming tide and a cliff face, because it can and does and has ended in death. So don't let that happen to you. Be smart, do your research, look at what time the tide's coming, things like that to keep you safe. It may be boring, but it's going to keep you alive at the end of the day, so it's worth doing. Just a little point of note towards the end of this vlog.
When I argue, I see shapes. 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 When I argue.
I'm not sure about that music, but football was looking good. England in action before the kickoff of the European Championships next week.